And in case of an accidental foul, we go to the scorecards after 4. So the stage is set. We're ready to go. I got my seatbelt on. The goosebumps are up in the back of my neck. My head's standing straight up. I'm ready for a world championship fight, and it doesn't get any better than this. Either one of these fine-tuned machines can win this, and it should be sensational.
And was very respectful leading up to this fight, Colonel. But I think that all goes out the window once the bell rings with these two.
These guys are both gentlemen outside the ring, and they're both animals in the ring. Yes, we are. You mentioned one thing, Christina, very important. The calmness of Tim Bradley. He must maintain his equanimity. Both guys with dark trunks, you know the fighters. So the one with the yellow on it is Tim Bradley. It actually is a TB on his trunks. Tim Bradley, Desert Storm in the middle. And of course, Juan Manuel Marquez with a white trim on his black trunks with Tecate across the front.
I think one of the first questions is, how long is it going to take before Marquez tries to test the chin of Bradley?
I don't think it's going to take long, Larry, but we're going to find out very shortly, I think.
I mean, even more than usual in a fight because of what happened in that Providnikov fight to Bradley.
It's a very good point, Larry. And Marquez, who, as you pointed out, started out, I believe, as a junior featherweight, really has a lot of pop in his punches now that he's a welterweight.
Tim has got perfect distance. His timing is perfect. Marquez with his wide shots, a little bit slow with them, and Tim able to block him in the back of his glove so far.
Tim came out popping that jab, has since laid back and he's studying Marquez. Both fighters sizing each other up in round 1.
It'll be interesting to see who's the aggressor in this fight.
Well, that's true, Christina, because if Tim Bradley becomes the aggressor, he's going to be in trouble. He cannot be sucked into a brawl.
They're both natural counterpunches. So we can have some version and variation of what we're looking at right now for rounds and rounds.
And that'll be hard to score if it stays like this.
Well, let's hope not.
Well, Bradley is beating Marquez to the punch here, but Marquez, you know, his mind is going at 110% to try to set something up.
He's tried a couple of lead left hooks. Bradley's blocked them pretty well. And that's a beautiful vintage uppercut by Marquez. A lead uppercut that he so successfully lands. And there he tries it again.
And it worked. It didn't catch him flush, but it worked. Bradley, as soon as he had hit, the Warrior comes out there. You notice he didn't take a step back. He took a step in after he got hit.
He didn't, Colonel. And there's another big left hook. And he's caught him a couple times with the uppercut and the hook so far, Larry.
And he also hit him with his head, you know.
That's important, Larry, because there's an inch height difference here in favor of...
Bradley was notorious for using his head physically in fights up until recent fights.
Yeah, well, he'll use it tonight because he has to when you're fighting a tough Mexican-style fighter. He'll use it for sure. And
a prominent head that is. That's a rather large head that Bradley has.
You know, no matter how Marquez has built up his body, which he has, you can see that Bradley is a naturally bigger man.
Very good point.
And naturally quicker. It's a bell ending round 1. That's a Bradley round.
I have it a Marquez round.
Well, that's what I expect the judges will be split on that too. And that's why it could be controversial at the end.
I thought the cleaner punches were landed by Marquez, a couple of the uppercuts and the hooks.
I'll give you the uppercuts.
Okay? Don't let him establish that uppercut. You got this? You gotta stay smart.
But when you have rounds like that, and that's why it can be controversial, I'm glad we see it differently, Mario, and I'll tell you why. Because I expect that's the way the judges will be. I guarantee you all 3 judges don't have it the same way.
What's the expression that John wouldn't say, don't confuse aggression for effectiveness or something along those lines?
Effective aggression is a factor in scoring. But when one fighter is the aggressor or throws a lot more punches, he will often get credit for the closer rounds.
A little swelling on the forehead of Marquez due to the headbutts.
All right, this is round number 2. Colonel Bob Sheridan, we got Larry Merchant, Mario Lopez, and Christina Pancha alongside. Glad to be working with all of these true sensational professionals. And the
4 jabs in succession.
4 jabs in a row. The 2 professionals in the ring are truly professionals as well. Timothy Bradley, and of course Juan Manuel Marquez.
Timothy Bradley coming out, popping those jabs, and landing a nice left hook to start the second round.
Giving him more of that left shoulder dip, blast to the liver.
Giving him different looks.
Coming out a lot more aggressive in this round to start than he did the first.
Landed that final home for that liver shot again.
Low punch.
Being warned.
One thing that's great about a low punch, Larry, it may not count in terms of the referee, but it certainly counts in the body of your opponent.
And now we know how you fight, Curtis.
I'm a dirty fighter.
Tim's corner yelling, stay on the plan. Stay on the plan, something he did not do in his last fight, but Joel Diaz is a mastermind and really has come up with a plan. We'll see what it is, but they're yelling that over and over.
Ultimately, it's the fighter who has to decide.
Absolutely.
Bradley seeming a little more comfortable in there.
Yeah, you're right, Murray. I noticed that too. He's very, very relaxed. Of course, Juan Manuel Marquez has been to the well so many times. He knows what this is all about. For him, nice foot movement for the 40-year-old guy. Up on his toes, able to bounce away from the quick and elusive, slick punching and slick moving Timothy Bradley.
Marquez staying disciplined to remain the counter-puncher. And
Good left hook by Bradley.
Minute to go. Second round, Thomas and Mack loaded up the right, didn't quite connect. Timothy Bradley setting up right in front of him. Don't like that. Now he gets his angle. You don't want to come straight in to Marquez. We talked about him being a counterpuncher, and you're right, Mario. He's one of the best. He got ripped to the body that time by Tim coming in. Another difficult round to score.
I don't think it is. I think Bradley's winning this clean.
Oh, I'm giving it to Bradley.
I agree. Marquez seems a little gun shy to me in there right now.
You know, you get the feeling that he's trying to set something up.
Yes.
Trying to define what is he doing, where can I get him?
It's working for now. He got in the throw. Closing seconds, Tim Brawl. Tim won the round. I think he's won too.
Tim won that round for sure. And if the end of the second is any indication to the way the third's going to start, things are going to get interesting.
Real interesting. But you know what it's all about? No matter what they say in the corner, these fighters are fighters. And it's instinct. And when they get hit, they're coming back. No matter what they do in the gym, no matter how much their cornermen tell them, these guys are warriors first. Both of them.
Here's a Bradley shot with a nice right hand over the top. End of the round, both the gentlemen in the corner. Bradley coming with a looping overhand right. And both letting the leather fly. Bradley closing out what I thought was a big round for him.
I scored in that last flurry. Bradley 2-0 over Marquez. He landed 2 good shots. Here we go, round number 3. Thomas and Mack Center, Las Vegas, Nevada. The WBO welterweight championship of the world on the line. Timothy Bradley with the yellow trim on his black, with the red trim on his black trunks is, of course, multi-champion, multi-divisional champion Juan Manuel Marquez. Pretty even. We all thought Bradley took the second round, and we were too close to call in the first.
It seems to me, Bradley coming in with those looping punches and his head leaning forward, Marquez will eventually time him and counter him. But is this an older Marquez that can't pull the trigger to do that? Remains to be seen.
Well, I think it is, because I see his punches very wide. I see his punches looping. His only hope is to get this guy into a very, very big brawl. It's the championship records. Bradley's 8-0 in championship fights, and Marquez is 9-4-1 in world championship fights.
Remember, we think of Marquez, obviously, because of his fights with Pacquiao. But Pacquiao was a good matchup for him in the sense that
played into his strengths.
He was coming forward. He was always looking to land big punches, and Marquez could play off that.
On paper, Bradley is a tough style, but we've seen Bradley change it up as of late And as we've discussed earlier, if he bites down on that mouthpiece and chooses to exchange, then that's when he can get into trouble.
Well, he's on the bit to intelligence tonight because I think he's fighting a perfect fight. He's hitting him more in this round too, cleaner shots, continues to circle to his left, then he bounces back to his right, stops, plants, anything but straightforward. And that's the way to beat Marquez.
At what point, too, gentlemen, does Marquez change his game plan and become a little more aggressive?
Well, that would be out of character. He may have to, but that's not how he's fought.
He fought Tim, but Tim's head was rolling. There's nothing on that punch. But in the seats so far, they get really excited. You got to remember, anything that Marquez does, the crowd will cheer because it's about 80% Mexican fans in attendance tonight.
That's being generous. Saying that's being. I think it's like 90%. That's not being generous. Excuse me.
Conservative.
Conservative. Excuse me. Yes, exactly.
No, well, I'm definitely a conservative in every way. My man James Cowell doesn't particularly agree with me, but neither does his wife agree with him. Marquez sort of waiting. He's a counterpuncher, as you know. Larry's pointed that out, that it's not likely that he'll change. Tim makes him miss again. Beautifully slips the punch.
He's rolling with the punches. It looks like he's getting hit, but he's rolling with them pretty well.
Still ends. That, to me, is a definite Bradley round.
Nice counter left hook, right-hand combination from Marquez. One of the highlights for him in that round. Another right hand that Bradley was sort of rolling with, but not a lot of contact. Showing some Marquez highlights, but real tough round to score for Marquez.
All right, we're set to go just about in round number 4. Sean Monahan, Vasily Lomachenko, Orlando Salido, all knockout winners tonight. This one getting more interesting by the round. This is round 4. Colonel Bob Sheridan here with Larry Merchant. Glad that you're going to be with us. Mario Lopez and Cristina Pancha with us as well. Wow, with a punch, a little frustration by Marquez, or is he a little too old to land accurate punches, which is what I believe.
I'm starting to feel the same way, Colonel.
Don't forget one thing. We talked about it before, Mario. This man is an absolute warrior. And great champions like him could do things that other guys can't.
No doubt about it.
So don't be surprised, you know, if he comes back and lands some shots. But I don't think his timing is good tonight. I think his shots are too wide. I think he slowed down with his arm speed. I think Tim can just outbox him like this all night. Could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Arm shot.
And a little desperation there.
Yes.
Trying to compensate.
All right, let's see what this is all about. Time has been called.
I think some Vaseline.
He's got a ton of Vaseline on his head and his
Wipe that
forehead.
off his body. Wipe
On
it off
his body. Vaseline on the body. I don't know that I've
It
ever
probably
seen
just
that.
fell. I think it just fell
That's
from
not
the
your
fall.
Maristan unless it fell like Lucina says. Andrew Ozenda used to do that.
On the body?
Yeah, and try to get it on the other guy's gloves.
Well, if you pull it off, it'll help.
Or you try it. You get caught, you get caught. They're going to find you. Round 4. That's why I love the referees with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, because they pick up things like that that would go missed. I'm not talking about New York and Miami and,
They're the best in business.
and Los Angeles, but basically those are your places where you get great, great referees, in New Jersey as well. Stiff jab there. Not quite the war in the Pierce section we expected, but that's all in favor of Tim. He's the ring general. He's dictating that. About a minute to go in the 4th round. As far as I'm concerned, it's all Bradley.
Well, this is, to me, why Bradley's a polarizing figure. Because he's doing what he's got to do to win, yet somehow it doesn't win over the public. And clamored to want to see a Bradley fight when he fights like this.
Would you rather take the Klitschko's money and fame? Or would you want to listen to him get into brawls and please the public?
Well, but you know, that's the issue here, because certainly Marquez is not fighting any more aggressively than Bradley is. He's fighting his style of fight.
Absolutely.
Counter-puncher style of fight. And Bradley is mostly beating to the punch. You know, one of the surprises I have is how gray the little beard is on Marquez.
Yes,
It's
you're
all
right.
like Vaseline, actually.
Combination
It
of gray
is.
hair and Vaseline.
Oh, it's the Vaseline.
Mixed it up a little bit, but not much happened there in all honesty. Another nice exchange. Tim landed the left hand with the right one up behind the ear. The mathematics you have to manipulate the books in Distrito Federal, you better be a mathematician.
That's a skill. Well, then I think it's safe to assume the money he's made, he's probably invested well. Or he knows how much he has. That's
Well, now he's more like a Wall Streeter.
right.
If you give me an accountant for the government in Distrito Federal, you're a genius. All right, I won't see any more because the Mexicans will attack me when I get down there next week.
Meanwhile, Bradley came out popping that jab again. Looking in fantastic shape as usual.
This is round 5. The chair Mexico goes up, reaches downstairs. Tim's got that washboard stomach and a light blow to the body will not hurt him. Stiff jab to the forehead of Marquez. Another regular landed on the forehead of Marquez. That's why they're loading up the grease. Nacho knows what he's doing over there in that corner.
We haven't seen that flush uppercut that Marquez landed so beautifully in the first round. And since then, I haven't given him a round.
You know, we're all sort of warrior aficionados. You know, if I'm fighting now at this stage and it's going this way, I'd almost have to engage. I know that isn't what Tim wants to do, and certainly not what
Good hard jab.
his corner wants to do. But these guys are fighters. I think he's going to go after him soon. At least I would.
No, I think Bradley wants to win the fight.
Oh, no question, Larry.
Unlike, he has nothing, you know.
He just hit him with one hellacious left hook. So you're right. If he continues to just pop and pick and land left hooks like he just landed, eventually this guy's going to wilt and he'll stop him. Because this is not the Marquez that I've seen over the years.
In a way, it's a war of nerve. Who can make the other guy get out of his more natural style first?
Well, that's true. You know, that's what goes to what I was saying, Larry. You know, if I'm Tim, maybe it's just that I'm so excited about this fight, I want to see him mix it up. But if I'm Tim, it's very hard, and it takes great discipline to do what he's doing now, but it's tremendously successful.
Well, to me, guys with similar styles, usually it's going to favor the younger, quicker, faster guy, and in this case, it's Bradley, and that's been the case so far tonight.
Oh, this is his fight all the way, Mario. As long as he can end a fight like this is perfect for him. And don't get sucked into what I suggested that I thought he might do. Look at this. Pop the jab, pop the jab. Other guy's slow, he's missing. This is an aged version of the guy who was once a tremendous, sensational fighter. I'm glad that we get to see him one more time.
Just with Marquez's power, too, it's just so hard to count him out. We sit here on the edge of our seat as Bradley's controlling these rounds, but at any moment, as we saw Marquez's last fight, it could change.
How quickly we saw in a round near this one. Downstairs he goes. Tim throws to him. Now Marquez opens up. They trade chins. Whoa! At the end, he's taunted him. He's taunted him. He's taunted him.
End of the round, both fighters taunting each other. Marquez really committing to the taunt. I think a lot of frustration. That body shot landed, by the way, from Marquez, causing Bradley to really want to open up. And I think, gentlemen, in this next round, Marquez needs to revert to plan B.
Well, his plan B is, I got to draw this guy into a brawl because I can't beat him boxing. And he's not, and he won't. So let's see if he can drag Tim into a brawl. If Tim engages, it's a mistake. But he's a fighter, so it could happen. And I personally would love to see it happen. Tim goes hunting with that left jab. Squared up a bit is Marquez, looking to throw his right hand, but it's wide as it's been all night. Tim in and out, in and out. The old Angelo Dundee style of hit, don't get hit.
And moving his head very well. as he moves out.
Tim rolling and throwing that right hand, and it's finding a home tonight.
Hasn't landed as many as he did in the last round at this stage.
Good lead right hand. Finally landed.
Marquez threw 5 punches, they all missed.
Colonel, but I think you're right. I think he'll have his moments, and he'll catch a punch here and there, or a land a blow, I should say. But this is an older Marquez we're looking at.
I think so, because I've seen this guy perform, and all of us have, at such a level, and this is what I'm seeing out of him right now.
Again, it's the opponent, and recall that I said earlier
Yeah, you're right, Larry.
that an older fighter can conceal his aging, but a younger fighter will come along who exposes it. Whether this can go on for 12 rounds is what we're here to find out.
I'm more concerned about the beating that he took in the last fight as opposed to the dramatic knockout that he landed. And I think that affected him more. Sure, it was great that he knocked him out in the, what they call it, the shutter around the world. But in reality, his body can't take many more beatings like he took for the first few rounds of that fight. And I think it shows tonight. For the very first time, I see this guy wilt.
Right, and 40 years old. It'll show.
Yeah, and Mario, there's a long way to go. We're only approaching the middle of this fight.
And in every interview we did this week, he talked about how much they worked on his speed with Marquez, but I'm not seeing any of that speed thus far in the fight, guys.
He doesn't have the timing, Larry. You know, his mind is there, but he can't pull the trigger.
Well, you know, Sugar Ray Robinson famously said that you know you're getting older when you see the openings before you punch at them. When they're in their prime, they're punching as the openings develop.
And there's another big counter right hand that Bradley's had success with all night.
See, Larry, you pointed out another thing, too, that's so true. Tim is doing a great job moving the head. Never coming straight in. Gets the angle. He stops, works his way back out, pulls out at an angle. Sets up in front of him now. Closing seconds of the 6th round. Marquez wants to try to catch him. He's been successful, you know, in the last couple of seconds of round. That ends the 6th. Against 2 legendary fighters, anything that Marquez does, he might pick up a round here and there.
Okay, he's by all means not overwhelming him. He'll catch a shot here and there like he did with that overhand right that we just saw, and Marquez happened to catch him with a right, but neither fighter really landing lots of combinations or doing any serious damage thus far.
And Marquez as yet has been able to test Bradley's chin.
Very good point, Larry.
That was one of the things we wondered about going into this fight. How would he take a punch after that concussions he took in his last fight?
And of course, that was at the hands of Provednikov, and we're going to see him in action next week. So we'll evaluate his progress against Alvarado in a place called Denver, Colorado in the United States of America.
And that's going to be 2 men in their prime and the potential barn burner. Meanwhile, we have a bit more of a chess match here as opposed to the barn burner we were hoping to see.
Yeah, and as far as that chess match goes, as much as we've given or we've scored a lot of these rounds for Bradley, they are still fairly close. It's not like he's won them by a huge margin. It's not like they're dominating rounds. So you never know with the way the crowd goes into play how closely they have them scored.
Well, you know, this is an interesting graphic we got up there for you. Knockouts after round 6. Marquez, 18. Bradley, 1. Wait a minute, that's a 19.
19 rather, and that is telling, and I think that's more to the experience of Marquez, of course.
It's the conditioning, Mario, sorry, it's the conditioning of a younger Marquez.
Yes.
This isn't the Marquez that did that. And don't forget, he is a warrior, and he's going to test Tim. He's frustrated right now. He wants Tim to mix it up and brawl with him.
He's starting to move forward gradually, trying to test the ground between them, see if he can find someplace comfortable a little closer.
Tim is beautiful, though. In and out, in and out. Wow, with that shot, he took the shot. Look at the job he does defensively.
Yeah, he's underrated as defensively. You're right about that. He made Pacquiao miss a lot.
That was the punch heard around the world when it landed on Manny Pacquiao's jaw, the one that just missed, that straight, big right hand.
windmilling. But you know something, Larry? That punch to me doesn't look as crisp. It looked pretty dramatic, but I don't know how much is left on his punches. See, he's missing. That's an indication to me that you had the best line. What was the fighter that said, you know, your mind's there, your brain does it, and you see it a second later? Something of that nature?
Somebody named Robinson.
Yes, Sugar Ray Robinson.
And could there be something except for the fact that after such a high and in such dramatic fashion with that knockout, do you think he got up for a Bradley post-Pacquiao?
Well, you can say for both of them, but I think your point is a point. But we know how hard he trains and how professional Marquez is.
Remember, it's still a 40-year-old body that has been in 60 wars.
That's a lot.
For Pacquiao, I'm sorry, for Bradley, he didn't want to go to China to fight Pacquiao.
And maybe not open up that story anymore.
All right, here we go, round 8. Bradley with his back to you. That's Juan Manuel Marquez stopping up, as I've said a couple of times, in Las Vegas to pick up a paycheck and thumb his way up to Canastota, New York, where he'll go into the Hall of Fame 5 years after he quits fighting.
Good right hand, a quick little right hand by Bradley.
And he's been pot shotting like this most of the evening. And again, Juan Manuel, it's just not there. The timing isn't quite there. Punch is a little bit wide, but he's an experienced old pro. And if you don't believe me, ask Michael Moore about an old pro.
Well, you were almost reading my mind, because what happened, we're talking about George Foreman and
Michael Moore winning every round.
And what George did was trap him. He was setting a trap to land that big punch. So now you have to start thinking in terms of, is Marquez capable of setting a trap and changing the course of the fight with one punch?
Well, I think he is capable of it. I mean, mind-wise, but I don't know if he's able to do it physically. You know, with George, it's different, because George throws clubbing punches at a heavyweight his size. The last thing to go is the punch. And George, with one punch, could stop anybody.
And he has to create the opportunity, and Bradley's not giving him the opportunity to create it.
Well, we don't see some consistent pattern. He's changed up. He can't. He's admitted, Marquez, that he saw a tell from Pacquiao that unleashed that big punch. He hasn't been able to find the tell yet.
This is a tough puzzle to figure out.
He got caught with a light left hand on the inside. Tim went right back, stepped outside, regrouped. Now he's almost inviting Marquez to come in, because there's a frustration for Marquez here now. This great champion does not want to look bad. And he doesn't look great.
And you know, I was mentioning earlier, it was hard for me to define him. Is he a boxer? Is he a brawler? But what he is sort of awkward to his benefit.
Yeah.
He is hard to figure out.
He is an unorthodox, athletic, smart.
He's all of those things, and and because of that, it's effective.
Marquez looks a little bit frustrated, like he's not able to land the shots. He's thinking them out and almost like he's getting frustrated in there a little bit.
You're right, Dickerson. He's very frustrated. Therefore, he's going after him. Tim decided that he would brawl for a couple of seconds. It's okay. Marquez maybe had a better round, but not enough. Hey. That's a Bradley round 2.
We're getting to the point where Marquez is going to need a knockout.
Or something dramatic.
Or something dramatic.
Watch Marquez. He has some success.
Nice straight right hand. Another look. Nice straight right hand. Marquez has had his moments, but they're few and far between. And
I get Bradley pitching a shutout, 80-72. Glenn Feldman, Robert Hoyle, and Patricia Morse-Jarman are doing the official scoring. My scoring is almost always in line with Robert Hoyle's. Round 9, Thomas and Mack. Juan Manuel Marquez, future Hall of Famer. Tim Bradley, the book hasn't been finished yet, but he's undefeated at 30-0. And he's got this guy figured out tonight.
It's a nice left hook by Marquez. Not enough to hurt Bradley.
But you see, Marquez now knows the game, and he's moving forward.
Marquez is out of his game now. He's not counterpunching Larry because he's lost every round. His corner knows it. He's got to go on the assault. He has to deviate, and whether he can catch Tim or not, I don't know. But that's what the last 4 rounds are all about.
He's got to stop waiting for something to happen. He's got to make something happen.
Well, he needs to step out of his comfort zone and be the aggressor and let his hands go if he has any intention of wanting to be victorious at this point, in my opinion.
Well, he's trying to, I think, Mario. Jab, hook. Actually, his punches look as crisp now as at any time in the fight. I see him with a little more hand speed. Maybe it's an adrenaline flow. I don't know what it is. It can't be experience. Experience isn't going to give you quickness. But he's got something now that he didn't have 3 or 4 rounds ago.
Well, he's not feeling them out. He now knows that he has to make these things count. He has to make everything count.
By the way, we just passed, since we're in Las Vegas, the over and under on the betting line, which was 9.5.
This is Marquez's best round since the first round, I feel.
And don't question it is. But this is a different Marquez than, as Larry said, doing all that feeling out earlier and strictly counterpunching. He's frustrated and he's after Tim. Great thing that Tim's doing is not getting sucked into the wall. All he has to do is box.
Barely missing with that uppercut.
He's thrown some hellacious punches and he missed them, or Tim rolls with him. So he hasn't hurt Tim at all. Neither fighter down, neither fighter shaken, nobody bloody. Confidence on the face of Marquez. Tim hasn't been touched virtually, and the fight continues. Marquez being aggressive here in the 9th round.
A nice uppercut. There it is again, and a nice hook by Marquez. This is definitely his best round of the fight.
He wins
and a
this
nice
round.
right hand.
He hurt him. He hurt Tim. His legs are a little loose in the knees. Tim is in such great shape.
He's out of the fight, gentlemen.
Too late.
Here's a nice exchange by Marquez. Nice stiff left jab. End of the round with a body shot. The uppercut and the hook were working for Marquez in that fight.
Hey, remember, he's gonna try to
Changed his game plan.
in this round because
We got 3
he's losing
rounds
the
to
fight.
go.
Okay, so he's gonna
Marquez
get
can
stronger.
only
So
attack.
you're gonna have to be a little bit more technical on this shit.
It's his only shot.
They're making
Tim
adjustments.
cannot
Remember,
get sucked into a
okay?
brawl.
You have to make adjustments. Okay, pick, and stay low. When he comes in, you stay inside. Stay off the rope. Tight defense.
Diaz telling Bradley to shuffle with the combinations inside and get out of there.
Good advice.
Get out.
Or can he make Marquez pay for this new aggression?
That's what it's all about as we go to 10.
All right, these championship rounds.
All those punches missed by Tim Bradley. Nothing ended up thrown yet by Marquez.
Chance of Mexico from the crowd. They saw some life in Marquez in this last round. And we're going to see if it's the start of something new.
He's got to drop him, or he's got to hurt him, or he can't win this fight. But I thought he staggered him just a hair, just a bit, at the tail end of the last round. But Tim is in such magnificent shape at 30 years old, as opposed to 40 years old, that all his brain cells are clicking right on the money.
Big left hook from Marquez, barely missing.
Marquez's left eye is sort of a little semi-closed.
There's the brawl you wanted. Here he comes. He nails him. Marquez, I thought he was off balance and maybe would go down, but it was more a balanced situation. Nice recovery by Marquez, but he got nailed.
Marquez is a little surprised that Bradley came back at him instead of trying to avoid him.
And let's hope we see a few more exchanges like that. I thought Marquez still landed a couple shots there. Bradley answered, though.
Marquez has definitely landed some maybe more shots, but I think the shot that Bradley landed hurt him. Don't know that for a fact because he didn't go down. Just the feeling I have.
Marquez stalking, trying to still counterpunch.
Tim bending way over, so he really can't do anything but hit his back at the top of his head. You can be knocked out on the top of your head if you want to break your hand.
And I'm surprised Marquez hasn't adjusted a little bit and gone for the uppercut a little bit more with the bobbing and weaving, taking a step back in that beautiful uppercut of his.
I just don't think at this age, in this stage in his career, that he can execute like he one time could. Oh, the heart's there. You can see the skills. You can see the courage. But I don't see the electricity. That was a decent right hand that he almost landed. But he's almost landed a lot of shots.
Well, I agree, but I think he's been busy enough to still maybe escape with this round.
You might get it. I wouldn't fight with you, Mario, over this one. Caught Bradley bending over with the right uppercut that time. And based on that, I'm giving Marquez this round.
Slip, of course.
That's a slip because if there was a punch and the hands were down, that's a knockdown. I've got it 98-92 going to the real championship rounds now as you look at this replay.
Both fighters landing big left hooks. Bradley showing good sportsmanship when Marquez going down, not hitting.
Presiónalo, Juan, es el 11.
Boy, I'm getting gassed now watching these two guys work this hard. This is round 11. It's championship time. Can the great multiple division and multiple time champion Juan Manuel Marquez pull this out against the reigning champ Tim Bradley?
Now, these have been very close rounds, and we discussed that the judges may have been seeing it in different ways, too. So these next two rounds really could determine the outcome of the fight.
Yeah, by the way, because I have it 98-92, doesn't mean the judges don't have it even the other way, because there have been enough close rounds. Remember, our scoring is not official. We're just trying to give you an indication of what we think the judges might be doing.
Christina just showed me some scores from Press Row. Kevin Iole from
Yahoo.
Yeah, from Yahoo, and Dan Ragnell from ESPN Sports have it 96-94 Bradley.
So they have it a little closer, but like we said,
but they're talking to each other. Back there in Press Row, no, they shoot the breeze back and forth.
I respect
these judges.
I respect their view.
I do too. I absolutely two of the best journalists in the world. I sit down with Dan Raphael before every fight, and Kevin Iole and I sit in the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame together, so I respect them a lot. And that's why I said it wouldn't surprise me if it were even or the other way. Doesn't surprise me. This is the way I see it. And I'm not backing up on it.
Marquez definitely being the more aggressive one in this round.
And he's winning this round too, Mario, halfway through it. But again, 2 rounds ago, he left his fight plan and made a big adjustment. But he hasn't been able to catch Tim with a big shot.
He hasn't, but Bradley has slowed down, and he has stuck to his game plan, but hasn't been as active.
But for Tim, it's been a fast-paced situation, moving in and out, making sure he's not caught, picking when he goes in, side to side, a lot of movement. Where the other guys had to try and cut him off all the time, try and catch up with him, and counter him early. Bradley doesn't look great right now, I'll tell you.
He actually looks a little winded. The mouth is a little open, and maybe it's being on his bicycle all night, but a young Marquez would make this really interesting right now, but does he have enough in the tank to maybe close it out strong these next couple rounds? A round and a half, rather.
"20 seconds to go. The Mexico chants go up. Obviously, they believe, as does Dan Raphael and Kevin Iole, that their man is ahead. We'll find out. As there's one thing for sure, Marquez won that round. So he's won 3 in a row. That means the other 2 guys have got him up by 3 rounds, Mario.
No, they had Bradley winning by 2 rounds.
Oh,
They had Bradley up. No, they had Bradley up, but just a little closer. But it seems that most people have Bradley winning via social media, but of course the judges are not on social media.
And the other thing is, people are afraid to commit. I'm not. I have more experience than every judge in this building. I've judged over 10,000 fights. And tonight, this is my 949th world title fight. I'll put my scoring up against anybody. I'm a certified ABC judge, I'm a certified WBO judge, and a certified WBC judge. So I don't care what they say. My score is right. May not agree with the rest of them, but I don't back up.
You, sir, I agree with 100%.
You are a certified right guy.
A certified white guy?
Right guy.
Oh, right guy.
Both, actually. All right, this is it, the 12th round.
This is what we came for.
I have Marquez needing a knockout or at least a knockdown to end with a draw.
I got a 107, 102. We'd have to knock him out of my score sheet or knock him down a couple of times. Tim is too smart for that this time around, I think. But it's not the nature of a fighter to coach. Let's see if he engages. 4th and final round. Las Vegas, Nevada. WBO welterweight championship of the world on the line. Is there one more great night for one great champion in history, Juan Manuel Marquez?
I'm thinking of 2 younger fighters in which the younger fighter thought he had the fight wrapped up, and he didn't try to win the last round and wound up losing the fight. And that was De La Hoya against Trinidad.
Yes.
Great example, Larry.
Gil Clancy told me that it was the greatest mistake of his life not to tell him to go out to win the last round. And Bradley has been trying to defend his title rather than to win it in these last rounds.
He got hooked again. Marquez on the assault, trying to catch him halfway through the last round.
Tim needs to put his hands up.
Bradley is giving this round away.
Could be a mistake. We've seen strange things happening in boxing scoring recently. Let's hope this isn't the case tonight.
And it's a mistake if he wants to win the fans' approval, which he so desperately seeks, or so that he says.
He feels he did that against Providnikov, and he just wants to win this one. He hasn't shown any excessive testosterone tonight.
Yeah, he's stuck to the game plan very well.
Unfortunately.
He's done that great, Christina. Absolutely right. 58 seconds ago, put your ears back, son. Let it fly. Go after him. Don't let him take it away from you, in case the judges have it a whole lot closer than we do. And Marquez is winning this round, but it's not too late, Timothy. Go after him. Because I'll tell you this, Marquez doesn't have the same power in this round that Providnikov had in the final round of their fight. I'll guarantee you that, folks.
No, that's for a fact. And Providnikov was letting his hands go, and he was a busy fighter, and he was overwhelming Bradley. That hasn't been the case tonight.
See, Mario, he's got all the right intentions, but he's still missing. See that?
Yep. He hasn't landed one of those big haymakers, even partially.
15 seconds to go.
He's had his moments, and I still think he's done enough to win this round.
All right, here they go. They crossed him, and he almost dropped him. How about that? Don't put your hands down. He almost dropped him.
Will that punch win him the round?
I'd give it to him.
And the fight.
I still give Marquez that round,
punch.
Larry.
It was the only hard telling punch in an entire fight. Do you give him the round on that?
I still think he did enough work in this round. It was effective in the corners for Marquez to get the round. However, not the fight.
Well, I agree with both of you. Number one, I think that Bradley should get the round because he hurt Marquez. And everything that Marquez did the whole round, he didn't hurt him once. He was more
aggressive. Did he hurt him, or was he a little off balance?
Oh, no, he hurt him.
He was hurt. He was hurt.
Well, we're
and here's the exchange here.
You'll see.
You want me to go up?
Oh, he hurt him.
Marty?
He almost dropped him.
Marty?
Wow. Almost dropped him. How those 40-year-old legs held up is beyond me. That's a credit to a great, great former champion. I get a 117, 111. Mario, what do you got?
I have Marquez with getting 5 rounds. And I have not done my math because I was looking at the...
And at this stage, I can't figure it out. But I get him winning 1, 2, 3. I get him winning 3 rounds. And then you added the 12th and the first. So you get closer than I am.
Yeah, I did have it
very well, maybe right.
5 rounds for Marquez. What did you have, Christina?
Well, I'm by far the least qualified person to be judging fights at this table, but it was really hard for me to score the first round, so I made it a 10-10 round, as the Colonel said, to do if you ever get lost. So my final scorecard, Bradley 116, Marquez 113.
But that said, this could easily be a split decision.
It could. And it
very easily. And I don't take exception to it, as long as the commission judges get it right. And if 2 of them go for Bradley, I'm okay with it. I don't mind a split decision. If it happens, I don't know. We'll see. I think Bradley easily won it, but I've seen stranger things. As long as the panel, as appointed by Keith Kaiser, gets it right, I'm okay with it. I can live with it.
I agree with you, and I think, you know what, Bradley, as polarizing a figure as he may be, he finds ways to win, and he is a difficult puzzle to sort of figure out.
All right, here's Michael Buffer. You'll know in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of Wynn Las Vegas, we go to the scorecards. Glenn Philbin scores the contest 115 to 113. He scores it for Marquez. Robert Hoyle scores it 115, 113, and he has it for Bradley. Patricia Morse Jarman scores the contest 116 to 112 to the winner by split decision. And still WBO welterweight champion of the world from Palm Springs, California, USA, Timothy Desert.
This man retains the title, and our judging gave the fans the indication of exactly the way the judges had it.
Exactly, you're exactly right. It was close on 2 of the judges' scorecards. On the other one, it was leaning, I believe he had your exact
same score I had.
Score. So I'm not disputing.
But I go back to Mario, which is the most important thing, and why with all the criticism that judges get.
And Timothy Bradley and Marquez started out with some beautiful shots, landing big uppercuts, and there was a counter-punching fest all night. They closed each round out with flurries, and there was some action throughout. Marquez seemed to win the last few rounds. Some judges had it a lot closer. I had him winning 5 rounds. Timothy Bradley, though, as he's done his whole career, doing just enough and finding ways to win, closing out a very technical victory.
All right, Larry Merchant's moving in a position. I think he's got Tim. I think he's getting close. Larry, if you got him, take him, because I can't see in the ring. No, he didn't quite get him, but he will. That's my man, Larry. Now you got him. Do your thing. Grill him. Do it for me, Larry. Take it away. All right, now, Larry, you got him. Do your thing.
All right. Thank you, guys. Congratulations, Tim. And you fought a perfectly disciplined fight tonight, but it appeared at the end that you might have been fighting like you won the fight.
Yeah, you know, I try to stay as smart as possible, but I tell you, I love the fight. I love the action. You know, I had to fight this fight because this was the only way that I can win this fight. If I slug with him, he's the bigger puncher. He probably would have hurt me early on. So I wanted to stay smart so I can give myself an opportunity to win the fight.
All right, when he changed as the fight wore on because you were beating him to the punch and he became more aggressive, what were your thoughts then?
You know what? I just had to listen to my corner. Joel Diaz told me, hey, don't let him work. Slide inside of him, get underneath him, and close the gap so he can't punch. And that's what I did.
do you realize as we speak that it appears that the difference in the fight was the one big punch that staggered him at the end of the 15th round, that decided the victory in your favor?
Absolutely. You know what? I just want to thank God for this, for giving me the strength to continue on to go on and keep motivating and stay motivated and going through all of this that I went through. You know what? That big left hook at the end of the round definitely did save me. The scorecards were really close. 114, 113. There it is. Woo. There it is. Woo. Yeah. He kept his balance. He's a very strong guy, man. But that left hook clipped him. He staggered back. Boom. There it is. Wow. What a punch. I wish I could have followed up on that. But like I said, he's dangerous when he gets hurt.
All right. He landed the punch heard around the world in his last fight.
Yeah.
For you, was this the punch heard round your world?
Hey, that was the punch that's for my world. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. That punch definitely saved me that round. And, you know, I thank God for it. And, you know what? This feels great. This feels unbelievable.
Where does Timothy Bradley go from here?
The sky's the limit, baby. I told you. I told everybody that will listen to me. Bet on Black. Bet on me. Bet on Tim Bradley.
Can we bet on you fighting a rematch with Manny Pacquiao if he wins his next fight?
Anything is possible. I would love that challenge. I have to sit down and talk to my promoters, my manager, and see what makes sense from here.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.